Welcome to More For Me with yours truly, Kat Necole. What up, homie? What's going on? Welcome to the studio. If this is your first time stopping by, welcome. And if this is not your first time, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Either way, it is a privilege and an honor to kick it here, right here in the studio with you. Um, I love to hang out with my homies here. Every week we get together and we chat a little bit, right? More for me. What does that exactly mean? Hey, it was placed in my heart that, you know what? God has more for me. Like, no matter my wildest dreams or imaginations, no matter what I thought or what somebody told me, that above all that, God really has more for me. And at some point, I realized that He has more for you as well. This is not just something for me, but it's for each and every one of us. And I realized also that I'm on a journey because life is a journey. And I'm praying, I'm confident that that journey is leading me to the destination of more that God has for me. So we dissect different things and discuss what's on my heart, ways to grow, challenge ourselves, to keep on pressing and pushing into the person that God is calling us to be while we try to reach this destination of more. This week happened to be recorded on Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to those who are celebrating. Mother's Day is not just a day, right? It's like every day should be Mother's Day. It's like a cute thing for a mom to say, like, give me flowers and take me to dinner and brunch every day. No, not really. As I reflect and think back, mothering and exactly what does that mean? There are a lot of people who've had a motherly impact on my life. And as I realized that for myself, I realized in celebrating mothers that it's not just those that are biological mothers, but there are a lot of people that do a lot of mothering, even though they don't have biological children. So my hat's off to all of the mothers, biological, adopted, and then just those who selflessly pour into the lives of other people. Like little old me. I've been blessed to have biological moms, adopted moms, as well as figuratively adopted moms, as well as people who just love and mother on me. So shout out to all of you guys. You know who you are. Much love. I greatly appreciate you. But besides Mother's Day, what else is there? What else is there going on this week besides celebrating, right? We got to celebrate life. I have been thinking about, I mentioned to you guys here recently that I finally found a therapist, right? Your girl, not just talking about counseling and taking care of your mental health, but I'm on that good ship and actually doing the do. And I wanted to talk about it some this week. Not that it's been heavy on me, but there's been a lot going on around the circles that I frequent where people are being greatly impacted by mental health, even to the point of taking their own lives. And so I want to freely, guilt and shame free, speak on the subject matter because there's somebody out there needs to hear that there doesn't have to be anything wrong with you for you to have somebody to talk with. And sometimes it's a friend, sometimes it's God, but sometimes it's a licensed professional that can help you navigate your thoughts and or understand the things that have happened to you and how they're impacting you present day. But just to be 1000% transparent and completely vulnerable, I realized probably like a month and a half ago, right? Because I'm new getting back into the therapy game, if you will. Been seeing my therapist for about a month consistently. Weekly sessions to start off, and then we'll see where it goes from here. But I was sitting there thinking and just reflecting. I'm a processor, so I was reflecting and processing and looking at the way that I respond to certain situations. And I just saw this thread. And the thread that I saw was trauma. Now, big or small, I really just looked at my life and said, you know what? I'm tired of living in response to trauma. No matter what area of my life, there's something that has happened and or maybe some major areas. I won't necessarily say everyone, but some major areas of my life where I think a certain way, I act a certain way, I do a certain thing because of something that happened in the past that negatively impacted me. And whether or not it's taken me a long time to unpack the impact that that thing has had on my life, or the development of my character, my personality, or if it was overt and just obvious. But I really was like, I don't really want to live based on how I responded and am responding to negative things or trauma that has happened in my life. And at that point in time, I legit was like, I really need to find a counselor. It's not cute just to be saying it, but I'm going to put the pedal to the metal, let the rubber meet the road and do this thing. And then thanks to my healthy community, one of my homies gave me a referral. Like, I think this person would you would really enjoy this particular therapist, because my homie knows me, and then he had the privilege of interacting with this particular therapist a couple of times, and was like, hey, you should check her out. And I did, and it's been great. So shout out to healthy community. But then just being self-aware and slowing down enough to process life, to realize like, hey, this is how I'm moving, and I'm not satisfied with the way that I'm choosing to move. And so starting therapy for me was really about being able to live and respond in a healthy manner as I navigate the day-to-day, the journey of life, and do my best to become who God has called and created me to be. And I don't want to do that because of something somebody else said or something somebody else did. I want to be impacted most deeply by the gospel and God's never-ending, never-failing love for me. That's what I want to shape how I move, how I think, and what he expects and requires of me as a follower of Christ. And so that's my personal story, my personal testimony as to why I started therapy. I am present day a firm believer that your mental health is just like the other aspects of health that we check out. I have a doctor's appointment that I set up for my eyes. I have an annual doctor's appointment I set up with with my general doctor. I have an annual doctor's appointment that I set up with the OBGYN. Like, legit 2 weeks ago, I made sure to make all of my doctor's appointments because I wasn't sure, since I was in Cali for a little bit, how the office was flowing. I want to make sure I get back on the calendar. So, your girl is back. I'm in this office. I want to continue care with this particular doctor. I did all that work, and I make the time to go to those appointments. And just the same, my mental health, that impacts me every single day, and is much more obvious in the ways that those other appointments and or doctor visits that they impact me. Sometimes they uncover stuff that's not on the surface. But for the most part, I can tell on a daily basis, hey, something's a little off. And now I have the space, and I've made the time to talk to somebody. And even if there's nothing there, just having that checkup, you want to go to your general doctor and do that annual exam, and then be like, all is well, see you next year, right? That's what we're looking for. And we can find the same thing with a therapist. So I share that. So hopefully remove any guilt, shame, or stereotypes associated with the idea of going to find somebody to talk to. When I think about Mother's Day, I think about celebrating life, but realizing so many people are ending their lives or not experiencing the fullness of life because they're struggling with things mentally, and they haven't had the courage, and they haven't been bold enough, or maybe they haven't found the right resource in terms of connecting to get some assistance in the journey of life. Right? We're here on this homieship together, and we're doing life together, journeying with each other. And as you journey with people, the same thing goes with your mental health. You don't have to journey alone. And I pray that if you are looking for peace, that you will find it first in God, but that He also blessed us with therapists and other professionals that we might need to help us navigate the waters of life. That is it for this week. I am going to go and enjoy some time with my family. And I pray that when we meet here next week, that you can report out that you had an amazing week, and that God is doing some great things, and that everything that you faced, you took it on as a challenge and an opportunity to become a better version of yourself, the good and the bad. That's it for this week, guys. Until next week, remember, God has more for me, and God has more for you. Now let's get it. Take care.